Hello and welcome to your first day or first couple day kind of challenge. What this video is going to do is it's going to cover some of the things we want you to do to just get you familiar with this framework. Watching videos is great, but there's no substitution for actually getting in and doing to kind of cement the knowledge in your head. So with that, what we've done is we've created a front end onboarding challenge, and this video we're just going to kind of walk through some of the steps and requirements that we want you to work through. You'll be working with your mentor to make sure that you're kind of executing and doing it the right way, or the way that the red sky way, let's say. And so yeah, let's begin. Essentially what we want you to do is, with this front end onboarding challenge, is we're going to have you create a new page on the quick start that we've been doing this entire time in all the previous videos, and create a new page which is going to be a weather report page. So we will have you create a weather forecast page. We're going to be obtaining the weather information from openweathermap.org. It's a nice little API driven site that is very easy to get the data and have it rendered. Let's talk through the objectives in here. So the first thing is we need you to study the Open Weather Map API. Here is Open Weather Map, and if you just go to their main site, you'll see up here, and if you go to API, what is going on? There you go. Click on API. They have a number of different API endpoints that you can call: 5-day forecast, solar radiation, current weather. We're just going to do this one, the one call API, which has a bunch of information in there, and we'll just use kind of a subset of it. So if I click on one call API, essentially you do a GET request to this endpoint right here with a latitude and a longitude, and you can optionally exclude some information, but we can leave that off. And then finally you have an API ID with your API key, so you pass that in and you get data back. The data that you get back will look kind of like this, where you'll have the lat long repeated, the time zone offset, but it has things such as sunrise, sunset, and these are in epoch time, which is the number of seconds since 1970 in there. And so you can feed that into a new date and get out your time and stuff. You have the temperature. This temperature is in Kelvin, but if you pass in units, you can do imperial to get your Fahrenheit. You can pass in metric if you want Celsius. We have humidity, pressure, all that kind of good stuff. And then finally down here, there's an arrays of data. So you could have hourly data, so you can plot it out hourly or daily, the next day, so you can get a couple days worth, and some alerts down there. So a nice little API endpoint that is easy to be called. So you're going to study the Open Weather Map API. We're going to have you then create a new page, weather page, with a URL of /weather. You're going to create a weather service function file, add it to the service factory, and you'll add a method for retrieving that weather information we just talked about with that call there. Next, we'll have you add to the fake API file some of the TypeScript API information for when you call there. You'll want to be able to have the data coming back be nice and well formatted TypeScript wise, as well as the latitude and longitude information you're sending in there. While a user sits on that page, if they while they go on that page, there's going to be an input form where they type in the latitude and the longitude and the API ID, so that we can use just one API. And what will happen is that form, once they change it, it'll change the values that are being sent out. And so what we want to do is we want to make it so that form values stay persistent. So if you hit refresh on your page, it'll be repopulated with what's in there. And watching some of the videos, you should know how to do that by now. Weather, we want to have that be updated on a 1-minute interval. So however we do that, we're going to add to the menu on the left side, we'll add a weather navigation link that is on there. And then in the future videos, probably by the time you actually get to see this, we'll have an actual design we'll want you to match. So trying to get your paddings right, your label variants, layout on there, and all that kind of stuff. So your weather page should include an input form with the following: a latitude, a longitude, an app ID. Here's a valid app ID below, just for the free account, so you don't have to go create an account. The input form should be saved and repopulated on refresh, so you'll be diving into using that recoil and that global state. And then when the API actually returns with values, these are the display of items we want to see on there. We want to see the sunrise, the sunset, the current temperature, pressure, humidity, the wind, and tomorrow's high and lows for there. The completion of this project, to complete it, we want you to be continually checking in with your mentor, asking questions as needed, showing kind of if this takes multiple days, kind of at the end of the day, just kind of reviewing where you're at with them. And then the mentor will need to be able to do the final sign off on the project before moving forward. I hope this will be a better introduction than what we've had in the past. Instead of just throwing you right into a project, this should allow you to become familiar with the Red Sky framework and familiar with how we do things, as well as working with a mentor to make sure that you're grasping the concepts. So again, ask any questions and we'll talk to you later. Thanks.